Dear friends, in yesterday's lecture, we studied about the Yagi antenna under the title Different Types of Antenna. And we also concluded that Yagi antenna is not presently much more in use. And that's fine. Today, we are going to study one more type of antenna, and that is known as dish antenna. Basically, it is called as a dish antenna because its shape is same as that of a dish which we are using in our kitchen room. But geometrically, the shape of dish is equivalent to the parabola, and that's fine. In some cases, dish antenna is also called as technically a parabolic antenna. It has almost all the properties of the parabola in the geometry. And by using that properties, almost all electromagnetic radiations which are propagating in a space are going to be received by that particular antenna. And to understand that, let us first deal with meaning of structure of parabola. Friends, as we already studied parabola in 12th standard or 11th standard, parabola is a plane curve which is the locus of a point that moves around the locus so that its distance from the focus plus distance from the directrix is always remains constant. This is the peculiar property of parabola. Basically, parabola is a geometric figure which is the locus of a point. Locus of a point means collection of a point around which the point moves so that the sum of focal length, sum of that particular point from focal length plus the distance from the directrix is always remains constant. So that particular shape which is being used in geometry, and by using this particular property, a dish antenna has been constructed, and that is why it is also called as the parabolic antenna. Friends, we can say parabolic antenna is used in microwave for point-to-point communication with the high directivity and gain. That is a special property of dish antenna or parabolic antenna. It is used for microwave communication, means especially the communicate with the satellite. To receive the signal from the satellite, the parabolic antenna is used especially for the point-to-point communication. It has a high directivity and gain. Parabolic antenna is a plane curve. We are defining it now. That is, parabolic antenna is a plane curve with locus of a point that moves so that its distance from the focus plus the distance from the directrix is always remains constant. The geometric properties of parabola are excellent to act it as a reflector. This is the property which we are using to construct, to design the parabolic antenna or dish antenna. As it is said in the definition of the parabola, we can say, so this is the shape is analogous to that of the parabola. It has a focus at this particular point, let us say F. Distance of the point on the parabola, it may be anywhere on this particular locus of that particular parabola. If that point moves on this particular parabola anywhere, then the distance of that particular point from the focus plus distance of from the directrix is always going to be remaining constant. Means if you take any point on the parabola, distance of that particular point from the focus and that of directrix is always going to be remaining constant. So that's why you are going to get this particular line on the parabola as a directrix. Thus, we can elaborate the same thing from this particular parabolic structure, and that is, if F is the focus, AB is the axis, means this is the axis, and CD is a directrix. CD is the directrix, AB is the axis, F is the focus. By the definition of parabola, we can say AF plus FB is equal to FP plus PP dash, FQ plus QQ dash, FR plus RR dash is always going to be remaining constant. If you place any source of electromagnetic radiation at a focal point, the radiated wave reaches to the locus of a point on the parabola and then it is reflected back. All the radiations which are incident on the parabolic shape and are reflected back, all those are collected at the directrix, and this is how the parabolic shape is going to act as a perfect and excellent reflector. The ratio of mouth diameter to the focal length is called as aperture of the antenna. The ratio of focal length to the mouth diameter is called as aperture of the antenna. As I have already explained that when we place a source of radiation at a focus at facing towards the it, means if you place at focus source of electromagnetic radiation facing towards the parabola, all waves coming from this source will fall on the parabolic reflector and will be reflected back. So they will incident on the parabola and they are reflected back, which are represented in this particular aspect. These waves will travel same distance when they reach to directrix irrespective of the point of the reflection on the parabola. That is the speciality. The wave, it may fall on the any point on the locus of the parabola. When it returns to the directrix, it will travel the same distance. So that's why almost all the reflected radiations are collected on the directrix, and that's why the parabolic antenna is most popularly used. Because of its shape, it is called as dish antenna. All these waves which are reflected are always in phase with each other. As being the reflection is very strong, a concentrated beam of reflection is created along the axis. Thus, dish antenna produces concentrated beam of radiation which is being reflected. Another advantage of dish antenna is that you can rotate the dish antenna along its axis and also perpendicular to the axis according to principle of reciprocity. It is efficient in reception also and act as a high gain receiving directional antenna. The main lobe of radiation pattern of dish antenna is very sharp, surrounded by many small minor lobes. We are aware with the radiation pattern of the antenna. It possesses the main lobes, that is major lobe, back lobes, side lobes, minor lobes. But it has a property, and that is its major lobe is very sharp. This is only because it has to get high directional gain. The parabola produces the beam width. It has a very wide beam width. Hence, it has a better frequency response range, to which you can call it has better bandwidth also. So this band beamwidth is given as theta is equal to 70 lambda upon d, and theta 0 is equal to 2 into 5, that is 140 lambda into d, where theta is bandwidth between half power point in degree. Theta 0 is beamwidth between the nulls. D is the directrix or mouth diameter, lambda is the wavelength of the wave. The gain of dish antenna is influenced by the aperture ratio, that is directrix D upon lambda, and it has a uniform illumination. For lossless antenna, power gain is given as AP is equal to sigma into directrix upon lambda bracket square invert. The effective radiated power of an antenna is a product of power fed to the antenna in its power gain. For effective working, this antenna should have 10 times lambda mouth diameter. But remember, this is a very important aspect. The effective mouth diameter will be 10 times the wavelength. Now, how the different feeders are going to be located at the focal point, and what kind of the problems which are going to be get generated, and how today's dish antenna came in front, depends upon the application for which that particular dish antenna is going to be used. Friends, the ideal feeder for dish antenna consists of point source of illumination with the proper pattern to achieve desired aperture distribution. Means, to construct ideal parabolic antenna, we have to place a point source of electromagnetic radiation at the focal point. That is the meaning. And that is the ideal source. That is the ideal feeder. So as to provide the uniform distribution to achieve the desired aperture. The radiation produced by the feeder is primary pattern, and the radiation pattern after illumination is the secondary pattern. But practically, placing a point source at a focal point, it is difficult, and that's fine. In practice, this point source may be replaced by means of a half-wave dipole antenna. Friends, we have studied the half-wave dipole antenna already. Now we are placing that particular dipole antenna at the feeder, that means at a focal point of that particular parabolic antenna. Definitely, we are aware that it is going to act as a feeder, as we have studied in folded dipole antenna or half-wave dipole antenna. By considering that, no doubt, if you place half-wave dipole at the feed point, it going to work as a source of electromagnetic radiation which are allowed to be incident on the reflecting surface of the parabola to produce the reflected strong concentrated beam along the directrix, along the axis. But it suffers few limitations. The limitations are: the dipole radiates uniformly in a plane perpendicular to the length and radiates no energy along its axis. So dipole has the property, it radiates the radiation is perpendicular to its length, but it doesn't radiate along its axis. We have studied the radiation pattern of dipole antenna. That is the proof for the same. Under that condition, if dish subtends an angle of 180 degrees solid angle at a focus, most of the energy will be radiated in a space without striking to the reflector. So as it doesn't radiate energy along the axis, it radiates the energy only perpendicular to the length of that particular dipole antenna. If dish subtends an angle of 180 degree solid angle, means beam width, which was studied in antenna parameters, at the focus, most of the energy radiated will be wasted without striking into the reflector. This is one of the problem of placing the dipole as a feeder at the focus. Second problem is its poor polarization. Polarization is very poor. And that's why for ideal feed, for ideal feed, it has a poor polarization, but for ideal feed, all energy after reflection will be polarized in the same direction, and the cross polarization reduces the gain of this particular antenna. So because of poor polarization, cross polarization may be possible, and which may hamper the gain of this particular dish antenna, provided if the dipole is going to act as the feeding source at the focus. So assuming its poor polarization, for ideal feed, all energy after reflection will be polarized in the same direction, and hence the cross polarization may reduce the gain of the antenna. So that's why instead of placing the dipole at the feed point, the open-ended waveguide replaces the position of dipole. That means open-ended waveguide can act as a better feed than that of dipole. When more directivity is required, it is means dipole is replaced by horn antenna, which is proper method. The resonant half wave dipole and waveguide horn with rear and feed front can be considered. Look at here. This is the diagram with a dipole which we already studied. So this is the dipole which is placed at the locus. From this the radiations are incident on the reflecting surface and they are collected on the mount diameter. But as it suffers the two problems, one is the problem of cross polarization. At the lack of polarization, it reduces the gain. Second one is as the dipole radiates, the radiation perpendicular to the length of that particular dipole, it doesn't radiate along its axis, and if the dish is rotated or it subtends an angle of 180 degree solid angle, that is a beam width, then it is going to create a problem. And that's why this dipole is replaced by means of an open-ended horn antenna or source. So this is the rear feed horn. This is the source of electromagnetic radiation. This one is front feed horn. Front feed means it is fed directly at the center. Feeding points are different. It is a rarely feed, whereas it one is a front feed. So these aspects will be utilized so that dipole is replaced by means of an antenna feeders. Furthermore, as they have their own drawbacks, they have also limitations of aperture blocking and impedance mismatching in a feed. Means what they have problem? They have impedance mismatching as they are located exactly at the center or rarely in front. So that's what happens is they will block the aperture and impedance may going to be hampered. So that's why this may alter the radiation pattern. Therefore, these are eliminated by offset feed dish antenna, in which center of feed is at focus and horn is tipped to the axis. Means tipping location is changed. So this is the horn and this is somewhat elevated. Elevation has been given. Tipped elevation is given, whereas in rear and front feed horn they are placed exactly at the center. This is the position. Look at here. That is the difference. They are exactly at the center. But in case of offset feed, it is not at the center. It is makes some angle to the parabolic structure. So this is called as offset feed dish antenna. This feed has no pattern deterioration due to aperture blocking nor any sort of energy interruption to produce the impedance mismatch. Means the problem which are going to be located in the rear and front feed, the problem of aperture blocking and impedance mismatch are totally removed by changing the location of horn towards the parabolic structure. But it introduces its own cross polarization lobes to deteriorate the system performance. So that's why these problems are avoided in Cassegrain feed antenna. In Cassegrain feed antenna is used that uses optical technique. That is the principle. This principle is used in radio telescopic antenna. Friends, radio telescopic antennas are available in Ooty, which is placed horizontal to study the space by using the electromagnetic radiation. And a Y-shaped radio telescope antenna is available nearby Pune at Narayangaon or Narayanpur, where 21 dish antennas are located in a Y shape, and that is used to study the space by transmitting and receiving the electromagnetic radiation. Condition of space, condition of stars, condition of planets, condition of sun, condition of satellite, all those are going to be studied by using the such a radio telescopes which are going to be located in India, especially Narayanpur at Pune and Ooty in Karnataka. Hassan is another station where satellites transmission station is going to be located. So that uses this particular technique. This Cassegrain dish antenna reduces axial dimensions of antenna and gives flexibility in design of feed system. Here, feed is at vertex of parabola and sub-reflector is located between vertex and focus. So let us see how it appears. So this is the Cassegrain antenna. Look at here, this is the horn which is located at the vertex. Here is the focus of parabola and this is the reflector, sub-reflector, which is going to be gets located. So this is the main parabolic antenna. This is the directrix. Horn is located at the vertex. From this, electromagnetic radiations are emitted. They are allowed to be incident on a reflector which is placed around the focus. From that, the reflected electromagnetic radiations reaches to the parabolic antenna, parabolic surface. Again they are reflected and then they are collected on the directrix. So this will reduces the cross polarization. This will increases the gain of antenna. This will increase the directivity of antenna. All those facilities are going to be made. It will not block the aperture. It will not create any mismatch of impedance problem. All those are avoided in this particular structure, but such structures are peculiarly used for a radio telescope only. For normal television communication, dish we are using are of the type of either rear feed or front feed horn type of dish antenna we are using for our television communication purpose. So friends, that's all about the meaning of dish antenna. Today we'll stop here only. Rest will see it in the next